The most prominent trends in supply chain today. Joining us to talk about that today is Omar Rashid, Vice President of Operations Development at DHL Supply Chain. Omar, it's great to see you. Welcome.
Hi, Russell. Thank you.
Well, now that we've indicated these are the most prominent supply chain trends going on, let's just walk through them. What do you see as things that are top of mind for folks in supply chain right now?
Sure. Well, I can't start talking about trends without talking about AI and data analytics. And right now for us, they kind of go hand in hand. For years, we've been trying to harness all the data that's coming available to us through different systems within supply chain. And now we have the tools and the visibility to harness that data and actually process it efficiently. And AI allows us to do that in one form. So AI has been around for a long time. We've been using it in various applications. But when it comes to harnessing data, moving from a bit of a reactive mindset with data analytics to a predictive way of thinking and using AI to get predictive with our decision making, I think that's one huge trend that will continue to be prevalent. And there's a couple others. I think automation in supply chain ties directly into AI and analytics as well. And automation specifically within fulfillment and warehousing, when you're talking about robotics, large scale sortation systems. I mean, automation also provides what I would say is the third big trend, which is some resiliency. And we're hearing a lot about resiliency. We've heard today at the Gartner conference about how unstable supply chains can be just based on geopolitical situations and so on. So that instability, as well as threats coming from a cybersecurity space, has made resiliency front and center for most supply chain organizations.
That is one of the things that seems to be really top of mind right now, top of a worrisome mind right now, is cyber invasion, cyber crime, and what's going on there. Let's just talk about that for just one moment. What is happening there, and what's happening to combat that, if you will?
Yeah, I think we have to. The first thing we can do to combat that is just bring awareness to it, right? Mm-hmm. There's lots of players out there who are trying to get access to your systems, to customer systems, and they are using very sophisticated methods to get access to data, essentially. And starting down that path of making folks aware what to look out for, how to understand when a threat is coming, I think that's the best thing we can do right now. And then making your systems resilient, having some redundancy in there, ensuring that you can respond effectively if there is a breach. I think that's really what we're looking at, or the industry is looking at in terms of how to protect itself.
Let's talk about something else that's top of mind clearly, and that would be AI. But I guess my question to you is, where really can we integrate that? And are there some unrealistic expectations or assumptions about what AI can do in supply chain? What do you say?
Yeah, I think the only thing unrealistic is maybe about timing, how quickly some of the applications are going to come at us, although it is here in terms, and AI is a broad term. So, machine learning, for example, has been around in our business for quite a while. Mm-hmm. If you think about robotics and fulfillment, if you think about some of the tools we've been using to optimize our distribution centers, machine learning has played a prominent role in there. And when I go back to robotics, some of the vision systems that they're using to navigate autonomously is part of the AI landscape. I think the newest and most exciting application of AI is going to be generative AI. And we're early days in supply chain of experimenting with that, understanding how we can apply it. And we're taking a similar approach as we have with any innovation. And I think the industry is doing that to see what use cases we can really benefit from generative AI. And in practical sense right now, I think when we talk about demand planning, moving from a reactive to a predictive mode of demand planning, mm-hmm. AI is really helping with that and helping inventories get more accurate, placing them more accurately, and then having visibility. And that's all AI driven today, I would say. Very practical.
Let's talk about digitalizing operations across the supply chain, throughout the supply chain, but more particularly about the barriers, the hurdles to doing that in a successful manner. What do you say? Walk us through that.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things there, right? I think the first is there's always a bit of resistance to change. Mm-hmm. When we talk about AI, when we talk about technology, change management is such a key component of that. So we've heard a lot in media about, for example, robots coming to take jobs. How do we dispel that? How do we work with folks who are going to be impacted by that to retrain, to make sure that fear is not there? And then the barriers to change also could be more technical. We have siloed systems in organizations. We have data that's not of quality or consistent. And so to use the tools like AI, like data analytics that I've been talking about, those data systems need to talk to each other. And that's where legacy systems can provide a barrier to moving forward efficiently, I would say.
Certainly right. It is a broad area, and we do need to bring some specificity to our conversation when we talk about artificial intelligence. Here is another thing, a very important word in supply chain: orchestration. So the question then to you would be, where are we with that? Where are we with that in terms of the maturation process of orchestration? What's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, orchestration is a really broad term, right?
How would you define it?
Yeah, so I define it in two ways. And at DHL Supply Chain, we are focused on orchestration as the next step in our digitalization journey. So we're focused on the warehouse right now, within the supply chain, and how can we orchestrate processes, people, and automation, and harmonize their activities so that if we have disruptions, if we have order patterns that change, we can continually balance that work, optimize that work, make sure we don't have bottlenecks. And really, in supply chain, no 2 days are the same, right? So the more and more we rely on automation, the more we need to orchestrate the work with the automation and our human resources, again, to respond to those changes that hit us. It could be trucks arriving late, people calling in sick, could be automation is just down for the day. So the orchestration layer allows us to respond in real time, gives us the data visibility we need to make decisions, and make those decisions so customer orders aren't impacted. And if we go a bit further out and look at the whole supply chain, when we talk about orchestration, we're really looking at end-to-end optimization, from inbound production, inbound to manufacturing, through to distribution. And some examples there might be optimizing transportation backhaul using the data I talked about, or optimizing a returns network where you're going from customer return into your fulfillment center and then through disposal. So I think there's a lot of broad applications, but in terms of orchestration and how DHL supply chain is using it, that's where our focus is.
Omar, final question to you, and normally it is to say, for the benefit of a viewer who is unfamiliar with your company, tell us a little something about its focus. Now, everybody out there knows about DHL. They may not have a complete understanding of DHL supply chain, but just tell us what's right now the biggest thing going on within your practice and what you are concerned with.
Yeah, well, other than the orchestration component, I mean, we have challenges that everyone has in supply chain, and those are around labor, those are around omni-channel fulfillment and changing customer needs. So what we're doing to respond to that is digitalizing how we approach our operations. So we're a contract logistics company, and we operate among transportation and packaging operations. Within our warehouse space, we have over 160 million square feet in North America alone. So digitizing, automating our operations makes us resilient to some of those external factors. And that's really what we're focused on right now in terms of our strategy.
Well, I appreciate, and I'm sure the viewer does too, a walk through some of these major trends that are going on and what you are doing with them there at DHL Supply Chain. So thank you very much for finding the time to sit down and speak with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's Omar Rashid, DHL Supply Chain, speaking with us today about important trends in supply chain, perhaps in your supply chain. Thanks for watching.